Hello and welcome to the European Aquatics European Youth Artistic Swimming Championships 2024 and the official opening ceremony. 23 member federations, 180 athletes, all aged between 13 and 15 for the females and up to 16 for the males. All very excited to be here in Athens. This European Youth Championships last took place in 2022 in France. It's a superb opportunity for us to see the up-and-coming talent in the sport. And as I say, everyone very excited to be here indeed. The organising committee, the local organising committee, the Hellenic Swimming Federation, they have done a superb job. They're very well used to organising very large events at this venue. Of course, it was the Olympic venue back in 2004, but since then they have had a number of sports, a very strong culture in aquatic sports, including World Series and World Youth Championships. This stunning facility has a 50-meter pool just behind the staging you see on your left, and in front of us the diving pool where the activities will take place for the artistic swimming over the next 4 days. It's the first time that these European Youth Championships have taken place with the new rules, so it's certainly a wonderful opportunity for the athletes to swim in front of judges and really show all the hard work that they've been doing in their training to achieve a place to swim here. So the 23 countries
Είναι στη...
The name of local places are promoted to take part in the European Aquatics, stating in the Bible Federation of Learning. Committing ourselves to sport without loading and without sharks, in the history of sporting, for the glory of sport and the honor of our teams. Please welcome the President of the Hellenic Swimming Federation, Mr. Kyriakos Yiannopoulos, together with Lawrence, the General Secretary of European Aquatics and Euro.
So the president of the Hellenic Swimming Federation, Kyriakos Yiannopoulos, to do the official opening.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Ron, European Aquatics, dear Ola Duet, Chair of Technical Artistic Swimming and members of the Artistic Swimming Committee, dear judges, athletes and coaches, welcome to Athens. Exactly 20 years after the a remarkable aquatic center, and the Hellenic Federation has opened the doors to the European Aquatics Swimming Academy from around the common cup. On behalf of the Swimming Federation, I would like to thank the President of the European Aquatics and my colleagues for this opportunity. During these 4 days, we will see the future of the sport in Europe. 100 young athletes from 23 European federations are ready to compete across 16 events, as well as fitness competition, in the first European Youth Championship under the new artistic swimming scoring system. I would like to wish everyone best of luck, and I hope you enjoy your stay in Athens. This is your moment. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Okay. On behalf of European Aquatics, I'm happy to be here and open the formal part of the competition. European Kyriakos and all the federation. I know that also General Secretary Stefanos here and all the team, and to have European Youth Championship in such a beautiful venue, Olympic venue, with all the facilities and all the possibilities in the world for our young athletes. This is something fantastic, and we didn't have the chance to have such venue for our youth, not even for our seniors. So thank you very much, the ladies swimming federation. You can get hands because so I wish the officials to do the best objective work in the world, and the athletes need to show the best possibility, not only the spectators can enjoy it, but also the internet broadcast, you live, and many are going to follow what you're going to do here in this morning. Thank you very much.
So Noam Tsui, the European Aquatics General Secretary and Delegate, saying a few words alongside Kyriakos Giannanopoulos. And now an aerial dance by Katerina Soldatou, combined with some artistic swimming as well. What a beautiful display. We thank the artistic swimmers and, of course, the aerial dancer, Katerina Soldatou. Absolutely stunning performance. So we will be starting with the free duet preliminaries very shortly. So please stay with us for that. Hello and a very warm welcome to the European Aquatics Youth Artistic Swimming Championships and Komen Cup. We're in Athens at the Olympic Aquatic Centre, a venue that has hosted many events over the last years, including, of course, the 2004 Games. So 180 athletes from 23 member federations, all aged between 13 and 15 for the females and up to 16 for the males. They've made the journey here to Athens and are very excited to be here indeed. Earlier today, we started with the free preliminaries in the women's solo. We now move on to the free duet preliminaries. 20 pairs competing. The aim, of course, will be to qualify in the top 12. But to do that, they also need to perform well in the figures, which take place tomorrow. Scores will then be combined for those top 12 to swim again on Saturday in the final. I'm Andrea Holland, and I'll be talking it all through with you today. It's the first European Youth Artistic Swimming Championships with the new rules, and those new rules include the apnea rule, which has come in this year, which means that no more than 50% of the routine can be underwater. They're allowed 3 seconds leeway, but it's very important to them that they do adhere to that rule, because there are 40 points bonus that they can get. Very, very important for the sport. It improves overall the artistry, but is also paramount for the safety of the athletes. So in the duet event, there are 2 panels of judges. One panel looking at the elements, so they will give a score for each of the 7 hybrids, including the 1 acro pair move, and those hybrids will be multiplied by the degree difficulty that has been assigned to that hybrid. The artistic judges, well, they look at the choreography and the musicality, which is 1 score, and then the presentation and the transitions, how it all comes together. So I'm sure those officials will be introduced to you shortly. And because it's the new rules, we have the difficulty technical controllers. They analyze the coach cards to make sure that the athletes competed the hybrids exactly as per the coach cards. Otherwise, they would reduce their difficulty for that hybrid to a 0.5 base mark. As the officials are introduced, Vizzy, a very important job as the referee, assisted by Yael Rybicek. So So the judges, who I was just talking about them, will be one panel looking at the elements, of which there are 5 judges, as you can see there. And then the artistic impression. Remember, this is 3 scores that they give. All of these judges highly trained over many years. The difficulty technical controllers, they look at the coach card. They are the ones that will decide if a hybrid has been done correctly or whether it does need to go to a base mark for that hybrid if something isn't quite right. The synchronization technical controllers, they look at the synchronization of the athletes together, and there are 0.1 for small deductions, 0.5 for more obvious, and 3 points for major errors.
Please welcome Duet number 1, Italy.
And this is the start list, 20 duets all together, and it will be Italy starting us off. The twins, Vittoria Violante Carenza, 15 years of age. Their theme is vitality, sense of triumph, and gratitude for life. Assigned difficulty, 28. Well, a very impressive performance there from the Italian twins. What a way to start this free duet preliminaries. They really did look like they had worked so much on those hybrids. A few little errors came into it on where, I'm putting this in inverted commas, but on some of the easier sections, like when their head comes out of the water or when their arm goes up. So they need to continue to make sure that they focus on those transitions as well to get them perfectly synchronized as well. But absolutely no doubt about it, a very impressive performance and great to see them competing here. The music, if you liked it, was a first-born evolving sound. And they are quite experienced swimming a duet together. They've been together since 2019 and are the Italian youth champions. They have quite a team behind them, supporting them in the coaches, with Silvia Da Pallis, Giorgia Mazzarello, and Carolina Camardella. The choreography, which is very impressive, was Rosanna Rocci.
They have been swimming together since 2019, and their best achievements so far.
Always great to see twins swimming together. It's more and more common these days. And well, we even have triplets as well. We have triplets here in Athens, 2 girls and a boy, and triplets who have qualified for the Olympic Games in the duet event. So one of them swims solo, which unfortunately isn't an Olympic event, and the other 2 swim the duet. Well, they look happy with the performance. The difficulty was 28.65. And it is still synchronization errors 8.5, so needs some work done on that. 197.3271. What a way to start. And they have got the full 40 points bonus for the apnea as well. So just 50% of the routine under the water. The second routine to swim is from Slovakia, Tamara Markusova, Isabella Vilimova. Tamara, 14 years of age, Isabella, just 13. Keeping the head nice and high there after the rotation. The theme is witches. Little errors at the start of that on the timing, but got it back again towards the end. Always swimming close together, which is very good. Again, moving well around the pool. Be careful on the timing here. Just a few little unequal actions coming into the program at times throughout that. I think their gesture intensity was slightly different, so as they're aiming to get to a particular move, they weren't doing it exactly the right time, so that can make the synchronization look slightly off, as you can imagine. I really like the travel that they got though, and they certainly worked hard at trying to get across the interpretation. They've swam together since they were around 8 years old, so they're 14 and 13 now, so a long time. And that does help because they know each other very, very well. It's their second season in the national team. They're coached by Jana Labatova, the choreography by Monika Thringerova.
This is the second season in the national team, and a fun fact, Duet, they have Duet since they were very little, probably since the age of 8. Tamara loves horse riding and climbing, while Isabella loves skateboarding and gymnastics.
So Isabella Vilimova swimming in this duet, but Mia Vilimova swam in the solo this morning. Currently lying in a 14th place. Anxious moments as they look across to the technical controllers. They can see whether they're having a discussion, whether they're looking at the video. Within the routine for the hybrids themselves, they need to get a really good mix of rotations and flexibility, airborne weights, so more static moves, and thrusts as well. Those are the 4 different families. And between each of those, there are lots of different levels. So for instance, rotations, you have levels 1 to 9, with limitations on how many you can do of a particular move when it comes to the rotations, flexibility. It's been a very steep learning curve for a lot of people over the last year as these rules are embedded. But, you know, most countries are getting used to it now. So sadly, their difficulty has reduced considerably, so they have got a few base marks. 113.7291 is their total score. So I don't know whether you could hear that, but a significant number of base marks on 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7. So more work to be done, but nevertheless good experience. But you can see that they of course are disappointed. Third to swim, it's Lily Gualtieri and Andriana Bjorklund. This is their secret agent's music. The music is They See You. Very nicely controlled on the acro pair move. very good sharpness. So forceful, so much energy in this performance. Excellent on the height. Knees should be kept dry on these rotations. I like the speed that they're getting into it and that very quick connection. Well, I really don't know how they remember which rotation comes next. They packed that full of content. It's the second highest on the difficulty, assigned degree difficulty 34.6. And like a lot of these duets, going for slight bonus as well by putting in a hybrid in the last 20 seconds. It's the first time together at an international competition, which is surprising really because they look very mature in their approach to the whole routine. They have known each other for a long time as they are the same club, but they're together for this season only when it comes to the duet. The theme really suited them, and you could see that they very much enjoy swimming to it. The choreography was by Leila Abadia, and the coaches are Nerea Sanchez and Virginia Villalba. So with a high degree difficulty of 34.6, if this is a clean swim, then the scores could be very high here. Score to beat at the moment is Italy, 197.3271. Anxiously looking across at the technical controllers. But regardless of whether it was a clean swim or not, when it comes to base marks, I was super impressed with these two. It's amazing the standards that you can get to at such a young age. So a slight reduction on difficulty, but it still puts them into first place. 203.1313. Deduction of 7 for synchronization errors. But artistic impression, very strong at 79.55. So nearly up in the 8s for that. And of course, they get the bonus of 40 for following the new apnea rules of no more than 50% being under the water. Very well done, Team Spain. Next to swim, we have the duet from Great Britain, Madeline Fish and Lina Ramanabek. (15 and 14 years of age, respectively. And this, if you hadn't already guessed, is their spiders routine. Pretty good on the timing, just needed to watch the alignment a little bit at the end there. Nicely controlled on the spin. Just slightly different emphasis as they bring the legs down. Good to see the contrast within the performance now. Musicality good. The theme really coming across. Just watch the timing. Would like to see them a little bit closer together here. But overall, a very good performance there from the duet from Great Britain. I love the theming of these spiders. The music that they used was Crawling All Over, American Horror Story theme, and Venom Attack. They really wanted to do something that would push them outside of their comfort zone. So it was more of an aggressive style for them. They've only been together for 3 months because Madeline's original partner is in rehab for an injury, but doing very well, I've been assured. So I think that that was an exceptional swim considering the short time they've had on it, and very well done to their coaches, Rosie Barrington, who also did the choreography, and she's assisted by Sophie Steingard. They were part of the team that came first in a competition in Croatia, so they have had international experience before. And I am absolutely sure they've been very inspired by Isabel Thorpe and Kate Shortman, who do the senior duet for Great Britain and have won world medals this year, gold, silver and bronze. Very much inspiring the youth with the performances they've been given, and we very much look forward to supporting them at the Olympic Games. Lena is a gymnast as well. I think that really showed up on the deck work. And she is also the national champion for youth figures. She won that at the national age groups. But they certainly seem absolutely delighted to be here competing in Athens, and you can see that from the smiles on their faces. In very good hands with their coaches, who have been swimmers along the way as well, and now compete in masters as well.
Score. Elements. 45.798.
So 149.0980 is their total score. The difficulty, they've got the full assignment at 20.05. Quite a few synchronization errors, which I think is to be expected considering they've only been together for 3 months. So many congratulations to them. They look delighted with that, which is always great to see.
Presenting Duet number 5, Sweden.
The duet from Sweden up next. Cuba Saren, Emma Martinez Delgado, the 14-year-olds. Theme is dance. They start with a difficulty of 25.8. Just small differences coming into it now. Need to really make sure those knees are stretched out. Well, a very lively and happy performance there to the music, sing, sing, sing. They're another duet that haven't been together for that long. They've been training this for around about 6 months now. Finished first in the Swedish Youth and Junior Championships. And Cuba, well, she's had a busy day. She's already swum in the solo preliminaries this morning, and she's currently lying in 8th place. Some really good work being done in Sweden. They seem to be really coming up through the rankings, and well done to their coach, Anna Nosova. So their difficulty was 25.8. So about 5 more than Great Britain, who swam before them. But that only works well if you have a clean swim. So we'll have to wait and see whether they have got that full assignment. Currently lying first is Spain, followed by Italy, then Great Britain, and finally Slovakia. Score to beat at the moment is 203.1313 with a very difficult routine. So although there aren't medals today and it's all about qualifying for the finals, in this event there will be medals given for the European Youth Championships and also medals for the Coman Cup, which is more the Mediterranean countries, with a few add-ons like Switzerland and Belgium apparently. So a bit of an anxious wait for them here, but they don't seem to be minding that. You could see when they were swimming it how much they love the music, and that does help the athletes a lot. Good to see plenty of support for these young athletes as they start their international competitive careers, a lot of them. So a very small drop in difficulty, but not much at all. It's 149.1772 for Sweden, 12.1 on the synchronization errors, so that's something for them to work on. Just 0.1, oh, not even 0.17, 0.1 ahead of Great Britain currently. Very, very close indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting duet number 6, France.
And now with a difficulty of 28.8, we have the duet from France. Apolline Gillot and Yael Ayelon Jagu. 15 years of age, both of them. And this is their cheetah routine. Needed to get their legs a bit more up into that vertical to show the alignment. really using the pool, swimming right in front of the judges. That was good. Can't afford to make a mistake when you're that close to them. Good on the height. Very slight synchronization errors. Swimming so close together. Very good spatial awareness. Well, a very energetic performance from the French pair. Showed good artistry with the theming of the cheetahs. That came across in a lot of their arm movements. French always try and go strong on artistry. As I say, the theming was cheetahs. Although apparently someone who was watching this duet said that they actually looked like they were more like friendly hamsters rather than cheetahs. So since then, I'm sure they've been working on getting a little bit more speed and the right mannerisms for a cheetah. But they wanted to be like the cheetahs. They're so elegant, powerful, and such fast animals. And these days, you have to show a lot of speed in the movements as well. The music was Black Panther from Wakanda Forever with Sink the Ship and Yibame by Ludwig Göransson. It's their first year together and they're coached by Mary Nedelek and Celine Kuchlin, who did the choreography. Very nice routine, and I'm loving the costumes to go with it. Quite stunning. When they're not actually doing artistic swimming, Pauline, she enjoys singing, and Yale enjoys cooking.
They somehow represented the fusion of qualities of the athletes. This is the first year they swim together.
So their degree difficulty was 28.8, so still pretty high. Not the highest, but if it's a clean swim, the scores should be pretty good here. Spain currently first, 203.13, then Italy 197.32, and then a drop down to Sweden, 149.1. But so far, all of the routines getting the bonus for the 40 points for apnea, making sure no more than 50% of the routine is under the water. Well, they've got their full assigned difficulty, which is excellent. 210.4834, and that puts them just slightly ahead by 7 points of Spain. Excellent, wonderful routine, and good to see the artistry as well.
Please welcome Duet number 7, European.
The duet from Turkey. Aisapuru Simal Tastepi, 14 years of age, and this is their Romanian dancing routine. Just managed to hold on to that above the knees. Just got out of time at the end of that hybrid, but again showing lots of flair and imagination. Well, Turkey are another country I've been very impressed with. They did well in the solo this morning with Selin Hermerek, finishing in 6th place, just in the preliminaries, of course. But what a lively routine that was. A couple of the body lines just needed a little bit of alteration to keep that core as tight as possible, to keep the lines tight, and also to really perfect the angles as well. But they couldn't have put more into it. They obviously love the music. Looks like their coaches do as well. The music is stanga. They like the rhythm of the music. So although they're only 14, they've been doing artistic swimming for 8 years now. Finished 10th at the World Youth Championships last year. Certainly got plenty of support from their teammates. And well deserved as well. They're still moving to the beat of the music. They really like the rhythm.
Swimming for 8 years now, but this is the first routine they swim together. They ranked 10th at the World Youth Artistic Swimming Championships in 2023. They're happy, they both love.
It's always good to have a theme to work towards, because it does help you with the choreography. And I especially like it if it's obvious to the judges what that theme is. But the routine is being looked at by those technical controllers. If they were going to get a mark for how much support they have and how much they enjoy the performance themselves, I'm sure that mark would be very high. They look like they've enjoyed every moment of it. So a slight deduction on the difficulty from 23.45. Good on the artistic impression. 161.6436, and that puts them into 4th place. Just ahead of Sweden and behind Italy. Again, the full 40 points for the apnea as well. Austria up next. Laura Ploy and Kira Schottner, 14 years of age. The theme is subway chase. And they start with a difficulty of 19.75. Not one of the hardest routines, but hopefully well performed. On the whole, fairly good alignment. And excellent on the flexibility. Very nice on the height there. Just on that last hybrid, I would have liked to have seen them swimming just a little bit closer together. And I felt overall on the performance that the first half I would have liked to have seen them show a little bit more confidence, particularly facially, because in the middle of the routine they started to, and it really then lifts the whole routine up because it does draw you in more. They swam, I felt the beginning a bit within themselves and very much concentrating, which I totally understand. But you've got to learn to do the performance element of it as well. They've been together for about a year now. The music they chose to swim to is Control by Neo. They're into nature and baking when they're not performing and training. Again, no doubt inspired by the Alexandri Duet. They've won world medals. Always good to have athletes to look up to. These athletes are coached by Gabriela Doczewska and Helga Pongratz, who did the choreography. Unusual costumes, nicely designed for their theme. An unusual theme, subway chase. They didn't participate in the solo this morning. That was left to Mara Matter of Austria, currently lying in 19th place. But I'm sure this duet will be very keenly watching the Olympic Games to see how the Alexandries get on and whether they can possibly secure an Olympic medal for Austria. Just duets and teams in the Olympic Games. The solo event not included. But if you ask any of these athletes what their ultimate aim would be, I'm sure a very high percentage of them would say that one day they want to swim in the Olympic Games. So reduction from 19.75 on the difficulty, so that has affected the element score significantly. 123.2313 is their score, putting them into a 7th place behind Great Britain and ahead of Slovakia. So nearly at the halfway stage with duet number 9. This is Laura Zenova and Uraya Fernadzeeva. They start with a difficulty of 23.25 for their Slavic flame routine. Just need to be careful on those arms, the timing. But really good travel in the egg beater and good presentation. Oh, that is a really major error there. As long as they've done all of the moves, it wouldn't be a base mark, but certainly the synchronization errors will be big. Just lots of little errors coming into it on the arm movements as well. That hybrid was better. And just at the end there as well. So disappointing from the fairly large error that they made, but let's hope it doesn't have too much of an impact. The music that they chose was epic Slavic battle music, Inner Flame, and Slavic war music by Darkness Rises. They really like the authentic Balkan vocal choirs. Coached by Galina Andonova and Irina Dimitrova. Both of them helping with the choreography. Mum of Raya used to do artistic swimming as well, and she also trained with Galina, the coach. There was a lot of nice movements in it. It must be very frustrating for them when they know that in training they can perhaps do it better on the timing, but you only get one chance here. You just come out here and swim it and hope that you are qualified in the top 12 once you add in the figures as well, and get a chance to swim it again. Beautiful costumes. Laura is into her crochet and photography, and Raya likes to write. So they start with a difficulty of 23.25. Laura swam in the solo, so she certainly had a busy day. Finished 16th in the preliminaries. Tomorrow we have the team free preliminaries. That's at 10 o'clock local time. And then the figure competition that all of the athletes have to do if they're partaking in a solo, duet, or team free. If they're just in the free combination, then they don't have to do the compulsory figures. They can choose to do them though if they want the experience, which I think is always a good thing to do. So having a good look at this, particularly on the synchronization. So when you see the synchronization deductions, I think they will be higher on this one because of that error. But let's wait and see. Nobody likes long pauses like this. Beautiful nails, very nicely themed. Actually, they really did look very nice, didn't they, those nails? I think I'll have a go at trying to do that. But it's really good when you do a sport like this, and it really brings you together when you focus on the artistic side, the whole costumes, the nails, everything to try and create impact for the judges. I think the difficulty technical controllers will be analysing that hybrid where it had the synchronization errors as well, because they will be looking to see if one of the movements was missed by one of the athletes, in addition to having the synchronization errors. It's a bit of a double whammy when it comes to that. Can be quite challenging for athletes swimming in a pool that hasn't got the lines on the bottom. It's very difficult to know which way you're facing anyway. They have their eyes open underneath the water, but when it's all the same depth and the width is very similar to the length, it can get very confusing indeed. But didn't seem to be a problem for these athletes at all. And hopefully the scores will be going up very soon. It's difficult for the ones waiting behind the scenes. Up next is Switzerland. So yeah, very difficult for them as well. They will need to make sure they stay warm. So a deduction on the difficulty and a lot of synchronization errors. 120.0770. So just the 2 base marks, but very big deductions on the synchronization. The base marks on elements 3 and 4. That puts them into 8th place. So halfway through, and we have the duet from Switzerland, 14-year-old Yael Hasler and 13-year-old Luciana Pietro Prala. Their difficulty is 23.85, and their theme is demons.
Is it possible? Is it possible that there is somebody else in the regions? I will see.
Very slightly falling off alignment on the acro pair move. But good alignment here. Well, plenty of explosive power within that performance. It was dynamic when it needed to be. And overall, actually, I thought it was a very well-rehearsed duet, considering it is their first season together. They are the youth national champions of Switzerland. The music was Hell's Kitchen. They like the energy and diversity of the music. And the coach obviously helped them choose it. The coach being Olivia Beresville. Just 14 and 13 years of age. So they started with a difficulty of 23.85. Just spotted their support team up there, flying the flag.
The fun fact is that they love pizza very much, but please, no pizza with pineapple. Their hobbies, they read, they like to go to the movies, they like to listen to music.
They certainly looked like they enjoyed that performance, and I enjoyed watching it as well. Coach looks rather nervous though. Oh, that's better. So the full difficulty, and they are delighted with that result. Artistic impression, 71.2, excellent. 174.1957, and a big thumbs up. That puts them into 4th place, behind Italy and ahead of Turkey. Much delight for the duet from Switzerland. The duet from Hungary, Dorka Kovacs and Nori Kasik. Both will be 15 this year. The theme is Freaky Circus. They start with a difficulty of 22.95. Good timing after the split, just slightly losing it then at the end. A fun routine. You can see they've really worked hard on their facial expressions as well, choreographing those. They do a lot of rotations from the split position, but the timing of them is pretty good. Slightly different heights when it comes to the level on the legs right at the end there. But that was a lot packed into that routine. The music, just as playground, like Rubber or Ruber Austin. They like the effects within the music, and it allows them to bring out that within the choreography as well. They used this music last year at the World Youth Championships as well, so it is their second year swimming together. Took a silver in their national championships this year. But they really did look like they enjoyed pulling out the effects of that music, which was really good to see. Dorka enjoys cinema and playing board games. They often do that together. And Nori, she loves learning languages. Coached by Zandra Rosa. Dorka also has a twin brother and enjoys going on family trips. So their difficulty was 22.95. Had the Hungarian Open just last month. So Hungary, another country that have hosted so many aquatic events over the years. They had the World Championships in 2017, and again I think it was in 2022, and they will be hosting it again. I think it's 2027 that it will be in Hungary. But they have had European Championships as well. A really wonderful venue for aquatic events. If you follow swimming, I'm sure you remember the Duet Arena, which is where a lot of the events come from. But in 2017, they also put temporary pools on top of the lake as well, which were absolutely incredible. Difficulty has dropped a bit to 17, but it's 151.2499, and that's into 6th place, ahead of Sweden and behind Turkey. 2 base marks right at the very end when they would be getting very tired.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome duet number 12, Estonia.
Estonia, the 12th duet to swim. Alexandra Orlova, Elisa Valtonen, 13 years of age. Their theme is Indian disco. Difficulty 22.4. Good musicality. Very good travel now across the hall in front of the other panel of judges. And good timing on the end there on that final hybrid, and a high five for them to finish. I like the intricate arms that they put into it. It looked like they had really studied Indian dance, the way they move some of their arms and the intricate fingers as well. Music was a drama queen, drum solo, and money, money. They really like the rhythm of the music, and I think that showed in the way that came across. The first half of the routine is more of an alluring dance. The final part, the power of a fiery flower. They were delighted because they went to the Hungarian Open that I mentioned earlier just a month ago, and they finished 7th out of 30 duets, so certainly getting more experience. They've been together since they were 10 years of age, so certainly are well used to swimming together, but really good to see them on the international circuit this year. Coached by Anastasia Rutkowski. So their difficulty was 22.4. So they will be hoping for a difficulty being assigned as close to that as possible. Alexandra competed in the solo event this morning. She did get quite a few base marks, unfortunately. 5 in total out of the 6 hybrids in a solo. But put it over very nicely. It's currently lying at 15th. But the technical controllers obviously looking at this performance as well. Great to see Estonia here competing. Haven't seen them at too many international events in the past. So don't have the experience of some of the countries that are competing here, like for instance Greece, who are up next. Difficulty again has been reduced to 4.2, so quite a few base marks there. 101.5500 is their score.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the degree of difficulty went down to 4.20, and the total score is...
So that puts them into 12th place at the moment.
Please welcome Duet number 13, Greece.
So from the 13-year-olds of Estonia to number 13 with Greece is Mini Karavazali and Electra Rapti. They like horror themes, so they want to express themselves, and the theme here is what's behind the door. They have the highest degree difficulty at 35.15. I like the shoulder height out of the water. And the intensity of the moves is excellent. Great on the timing. A few little errors coming into it. Wow, a great performance there from the duet from Greece. And what a moment for them, swimming in front of the home crowd. The intensity of the moves was really very good indeed. It looked a very mature duet, yet they're still only 15 years of age. There were differences when it came to the timing So there will be deductions for synchronization. They just looked like they had slightly different emphasis on some of the moves. Just starting it at slightly different times so they weren't getting to the end of the move at exactly the same time. Ismini was fourth in the solo prelims this morning, so she's another one that's had a very busy day indeed. But I thought that was a very strong duet, considering they've only been together for 4 months. They swam at the World Youth Championships last year in the free combination team where they took a silver medal. What a moment that must have been for them. The music is called What Happened, and as I said, they like the horror theme to express themselves. They're very good friends out of the pool too, as most of these duets are. But some great work being done by Anastasia Gutseva and Natalia Chinetska across all levels of the sport in Greece. So they started with the highest difficulty at 35.15. So if this is a clean swim, expect the scores to be very high indeed. At the moment, France are leading the way with 210.4834. Then it's Spain, 203.1313. Italy, 197.3271. And then a little bit of a gap down to Switzerland, 174.1957. Remember, they still have the figures that they have to do, and the average of those scores will be added to the scores that we see today to determine which 12 go through to the finals. Oh, big drop on the difficulty, down to 19.4. They look a little bit confused by that. 166.1479 is their overall score. 3, 4 and 5 it sounded like for the base marks. That puts them into a 5th place. But when it comes to the finals, if they make the finals, the scores don't carry through, so they have got time to put that right before they swim it again. Next up, 14th duet to swim from Poland, Marika Dadera-Bezdera and Michalina Nacek, who did particularly well in the solo this morning, finishing second. The 15-year-olds have chosen a flamenco theme. Pretty solid on those rotations. A good height at the end. All the smaller details looked at as well, the position of the fingers. good timing. You'd like to have seen that vertical held for just a little bit longer before coming out of it. But a nicely performed routine there from Poland. The flamenco music, always very popular indeed in artistic swimming. Music by Timmy Trumpet and Jetfire. They chose the music as they absolutely love the flamenco dancing. They've swam together for about a year now. Finished 11th in the Hungarian Open Championships just recently. Both 15, so this will be their last year in the youth before they move up to juniors. But Michalina, well, she was very impressive in the preliminary solo, finishing second earlier today. Coached by Ksenia Jadlaskaya. So their difficulty was at 26.7. So sort of about middle of the road really when it comes to the difficulty. But what's more important than anything else is a clean swim. So we'll have to see how the technical controllers thought of that against their coach card as to whether they get that full assignment. But in addition to making sure they don't get the base marks, naturally the execution of the elements is very important, and to fit as much artistry into the performance as possible, particularly as we have the apnea ruling where they have to be at the surface for 50% of the routine. It gives the athletes a wonderful opportunity to really build on their artistic skills. So scores are pretty quick, so hopefully that's good news for them. Very, very slight deduction on difficulty, not much at all. 171.0709 into a 5th place. So just element number 6. So that puts them behind Switzerland and ahead of Greece. Well done, the duet from Poland.
Presenting duet number 15, Lithuania.
Next up, we have the sisters. Lithuania. So we have Rugil and Migle. Poskiewicz-Ute. I hope I've pronounced that right. This is their theme, a fight for love. Very slightly off balance in the split position. long time on their back on that section before they went into the next hybrid. It'd be good to get a bit more variety there. You need to really hold the body tight for the alignment. Nice musicality and the presentation as well. Getting good contrast within the performance. Slightly different emphasis there for the timing. But I certainly enjoyed their performance. It's the first time that I've seen them swim together. They've only been doing the duet for about 5 months. It's always lovely to see sisters swimming together. The theme was a fight for love, and the music, fight for the person you love. They want to show the love of sisters. They're also very talented musicians and compete in musical competitions as well. So their difficulty was 26.7. Drawing into the last quarter as we move on to duet number 16 out of 20 after the scores have been shown here. So some duets have had rather a long time to wait. They're not twins, they're 15 and 13, but you can certainly tell that they are sisters. And I could see that they put a lot of thought into the facial expressions throughout the performance as well. But as well as doing rotations, you need to have really sort of more variety as well. So you need to have thrusts as well in the performance. You need to have flexibility and airborne weight as well. It all combines into making the routine. They did have overall pretty good variety in it. They did have flexibility and airborne weight. But some of the duets I do feel focus too much on the rotation. And if they don't use all of the families, sometimes I think that should be picked up by the artistic judges as well. Yeah, they certainly had flexibility and rotations and airborne weight, so perhaps to try and get the thrust in there as well. So slight reduction on difficulty from 16, 120.0104. Synchro errors, that's pretty good, 8.6 deductions, and the apnea bonus of 40. Which all of the duets have had today. So that puts them behind Bulgaria, but ahead of Slovakia and Estonia.
16, Croatia.
Five more duets to swim. And we have Croatia next, Leona Vanessa and Helena Petrovic, 14 and 13 years of age. The theme, takes two to tango. But a very nice duet there from Croatia. The tango theme, the music, Dark Academia. They like the tango spirit and the sharp rhythms, and that certainly came across in their presentation there. The theme is all about the fact that we're different in our personalities as well when it takes two to tango, but that differences should be accepted and everyone should work together with respect. They've been together now for about 7 months. So again, not long at all to get a duet together. So, I admire all of these athletes for doing so well today when they really haven't had that much time together. Leona finished 11th at the World Youth Championships last year. They have very different personalities, but they totally complement each other when they're in training and when they're in the competition. Leona likes to be very calm and composed, and Helena likes jumping around. But when they walk on, they become the same. Leona Vanessa, 7th in the solo preliminaries this morning. Coached by Ivana Lukak and choreography by Ivana Ladedic. their difficulty was 24.05. So to be in the top 12, bearing in mind we still have the figures session to go as well, which have to be added on to this, but 120.0770 is currently the score for 12th place. That's Bulgaria, very closely followed by Lithuania, 120.010. So just 0.6 difference there. But it can all change tomorrow once we have the figure section as well and the scores to add on. Croatia, another country that has hosted youth aquatic events in the past. And I'm sure watching those has encouraged athletes to get involved and take up the sport. So 24.05 was difficulty, a very slight deduction, not much at all. It's a 7th place. Synchro errors just 7.7 deductions, 165.2834, and that puts them just behind Greece but ahead of Turkey. Czechia are up next. Anna Dekova, Emma Kaufmanova, 14-year-olds. Their theme is power, the music thunderstorm. And their difficulty is 23.8. Very nice alignment on the acro pair. Getting good speed of movement, but slightly losing it on the timing. Some nice flexibility moves coming into it. Had to work hard there right at the end to hold those last rotations. I like the duet. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more variety in the way that they did go into the hybrids. 3 of the hybrids had a airborne weight level 2 move, and 2 of the hybrids had a flexibility level 2 as well. So maybe a little bit more variety in there. And with the thrust as well would be really good to see. But it's not easy to pack everything in. They've known each other all of their life, but only really been together duet for 2 years, having been in the same class at school. They started artistic swimming at the same time, but duet for 2 years. They won the nationals last year, and that gave them qualification for this European Youth Championship, so very well done to them. Coached by Eva Zadradikova, the choreography was Eva, along with Alzbeta Lukasova. Both 14 years of age. So their difficulty was 23.8 for that performance. Austria currently lying in that 12th place with 123.2313. But as I say, it's not just about the scores that we're seeing today. The figures do need to be added on as well, and they won't compete in that competition until late tomorrow afternoon here in Greece. But currently leading the way is France. They do excel in the youth category, well, across all categories really, but they were the top country at the European Championships last time when it was actually hosted in France. Spain currently lying second, then Italy, Switzerland, Poland, Greece, Croatia, Turkey, Hungary, Sweden, Great Britain, Austria. Those are the top 12 at the moment. Three more duets to go. They've certainly had a long wait, haven't they? 23.8, the full assignment. That's good. They're into a 6th place with 167.1293. I'm sure they must be delighted with that. Getting the full bonus for apnea as well. A job well done.
Please welcome duet number 18, Andorra.
3 more to swim. And swimming 18th is Mariona Casas Monteiro and Aran van der Erembient from Andover. 15 and 14 years of age. The theme is Dolls from the Nutcracker. see a thrust in the duet. So great to see Andorra here competing. I really did like their choice of music. It was upbeat and it was lively, and I felt it did suit them. The music was In the Moonlight and the Nutcracker Suite. They like it because of the rhythm. I felt that on the acro pair move, they perhaps should have taken just a little bit more time to get ready for it so that they could get a little bit more height and that the body alignment was perfect as well. And throughout the performance, they need to now really work hard on their knee extension, because that would help with the element execution score. They've been together a while now, for 4 years. They did swim at the French Championships last year in Nantes. They reckon that they have changed the full routine at least 5 times this season. So maybe now what they need to do is really decide on the choreography, stick with one choreography, and really improve and work on the execution and also the timing. But I did enjoy the performance. They're very competitive against each other, but always pull together for the duet. So the duet was an easier routine. It was a 14.8 on the difficulty, but that's right for the level that they are. So it would need to be a very clean swim to retain that 14.8. But we will wait and see. It did make a nice change that they had the thrust at the beginning of the 5th hybrid. A tiny deduction on the difficulty. A lot of synchronization errors, as you could see that the timing wasn't quite there. But they've just gone over the 100 mark, 100.8792. Element number 5 was the base mark, and that was their acro pair move. If you remember, I said I felt they needed to spend a little bit longer to set up for it to make sure that they did that correctly. The duet from Germany, Joanna Karb, Felicitas and Bacher, 14 and 15 years of age. This is their Ninja Warrior theme. Fabulous start. nice on the connection. Just hold the height a little bit better on the vertical line. Getting some nice holds after the rotation. Technical skills are strong. The Duet from Germany, that was their Ninja Warrior theme. The music, Japanese samba. Started with a difficulty of 17.9. So they need to hopefully have a clean swim with a difficulty like that, because it is lower than some of the other competitors, obviously. But I thought overall that they swam it well. They were quite precise with a lot of the moves. They've been together for 2 years now, and they are the German youth champions in the duet. The music was previously the music that Marlene Boyer and Daniela Reinhardt used at the Tokyo Olympics. They said they are their role models after their flawless swimming, and I know they would certainly love to follow in their footsteps one day and become Olympians themselves. Always the aim. Coached by Barbara Legal. Choreography Doris Ramadam and Yoko Nakahama.
The role models for these two athletes, Marlene Boyer and Daniela Reinhardt, learned in Tokyo with enormous flawless swimming, and they would like to achieve.
Joanna swam in the solo event this morning. She finished 10th on that, and of course will be participating in the figures tomorrow afternoon to see whether she has qualified through to the finals. So remember, the difficulty was 17.9 when the scores go up. And they have got the full difficulty. Excellent. Into a 10th place, 151.6521. And you can see what that meant to them. It's paid off going for a lower degree difficulty, but not getting any base marks. Very well done to the duet from Germany.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome duet number 20, Georgia.
And the last duet to swim. This is Tekla Gogilidze and Nita Natobadze from Georgia, both born in 2009. The theme and the music is Avatar. like to see them a little bit closer together on this hybrid. They sort of drifted apart slightly. But now they'll be able to see it and correct it. And again on the torpedo sculling, just drifting apart slightly. Very nice explosive power, using the water well to create the impact. The body line. Well, they certainly put everything into that. They've had such a long wait. And the competition started more than 2 hours ago. But they would have had an opportunity to warm up again just before their performance. They have a 50-metre pool next door and another about 20-metre pool as well. So the facilities here are truly wonderful. Nita finished 13th in the solo preliminaries this morning. The theme and music of Avatar, a popular theme. They love the movie and find it very motivational to swim to the music. They've actually been together as a duet since 2018, so they know each other very well indeed. Their highest score has been 182 points. It's difficult to compare that with that these days because they have the addition of the 40 points for the apnea if they are awarded those. But it does give you a sort of an indication. Coached by Lily Boccheria and Manana Changselileani. Their starting difficulty was quite high at 29.45. I thought they were ready to give the scores then. Hopefully they will be soon. But I thought if they're going to come up that quickly, that means there probably aren't any things for the technical controllers to look at. We talk a lot about the difficulty technical controllers, but obviously the synchronization have a very important job to do as well. And they press buttons. So if it's a small error, it's a 0.1 and they just press the colored button. And then if it's an obvious error, it's 0.5. And if it's a major error, then it's 3 whole points. And if a major error goes on for quite a long time, that can really build up. Always like to have their mascots with them. Hopefully they will bring them luck today. So to be in the top 12, they need a score of more than 151.2. It's all very close around that area, so it's going to be fascinating to see what happens after the figure competition tomorrow as to who stays in the top 12 and who isn't in the top 12 at the moment but moves up. They've certainly got every opportunity if they do the figures well. But tomorrow at 10 o'clock local time here in Athens, we move on to the team preliminaries as we now get to see the scores. Our difficulty greatly reduced down to 4.6. Large synchro errors as well, 112.6168 and 18th place for Georgia. So base marks on every hybrid, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just the acro pair move that was considered to be okay. So I'm sure they will be disappointed with that and have work to do tomorrow as we look at the leaderboard for the free duet preliminaries. France leading the way ahead of Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Poland, Czechia, Greece, Croatia, Turkey and Germany. All of these stand a very good chance of being in the finals. Hungary, Sweden, Great Britain, very close between them. So it's going to be very close for the top 12 places. And then a bit of a drop before the final few athletes. A lot here though, getting experience, and I'm sure that will help them however they have done today. But hope you've enjoyed the competition, and please do join us 10 o'clock local time tomorrow for the team of free preliminaries. From me, Andre Holland, it's goodbye for now.